The studio audience burst into applause as the host took center stage. The room filled with energy and anticipation. The lights brightened, and the familiar theme music began to fade, setting the stage for an unforgettable moment. The air was thick with excitement, and the audience was on the edge of their seats. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's guest is none other than Melania Trump, former First Lady of the United States, the host announced, his voice full of reverence. She is here tonight, speaking out for the first time about the intense media scrutiny her son, Barron Trump, has faced in recent weeks. The audience clapped, some rising to their feet in respect, as Melania Trump walked with grace across the stage, wearing a simple yet elegant navy blue dress. She sat beside the host, her demeanor calm, though her eyes reflected the inner strength that had defined her throughout the years. Despite the media whirlwind surrounding her, there was an undeniable sense of poise and determination in her presence. "Melania, thank you for being here," the host began, leaning in with a serious expression. "This is a sensitive topic, but one that so many people are eager to understand. How are you and your family coping with the media's attention on Barron?" Melania's gaze softened, but there was a quiet power in her voice as she spoke. "Thank you for having me. As a mother, it's painful to see my son targeted unfairly. Barron is a private person with a kind heart. He never asked for this, and it hurts to see him treated this way." The audience fell silent, hanging on every word as Melania's vulnerability resonated deeply with them. Her words carried a weight that spoke to the very core of parental love, and the room seemed to collectively hold its breath, reflecting on the difficulties many parents face when their children are unjustly criticized. The host gently prodded, "Do you think this scrutiny is simply because of his last name?" Melania nodded, her eyes steady, but the strength in her voice was undeniable. "Yes, people are quick to judge because of who his father is, but Barron is not a politician. He's just a young man who loves soccer, enjoys school, and wants to live a normal life. He deserves that right." Murmurs of agreement swept through the audience, many shaking their heads in dismay at the treatment Barron had endured. The audience could relate. Too many had witnessed the harsh spotlight cast on children whose lives were exposed for no reason other than their connection to public figures. The host's voice grew more solemn, the conversation turning serious. "What would you say to those who believe that public figures' families, especially children, are fair game for criticism?" Melania's eyes flashed with resolve, and the room felt like it held its breath once again. Children should never be fair game. They are off limits. No child should be judged or hurt because of their parents. We must do better. Words can wound deeply and leave scars that last a lifetime. Her words rang out with an undeniable truth, and the audience shifted, visibly moved. The host, a man known for his own measured approach to difficult topics, nodded in agreement, his tone heavy with conviction. "And do you think the media has a responsibility to change the way they report on children in the public eye?" "Absolutely," Melania replied firmly, her voice unwavering. "The media must report the truth, but they must do so without causing harm to innocent people. I hope they take a long, hard look at their role in this and do better moving forward. I also encourage all parents to stand up for their children when they are treated unfairly." The audience erupted into applause, many rising to their feet in solidarity. There was a sense of unity in the room, as though Melania had tapped into something much larger than her family's personal struggles. Her message spoke to the core of human decency, reminding everyone of the importance of protecting the vulnerable, especially children. The host gave Melania an appreciative smile, acknowledging the powerful message she had just shared. "You've spoken to the hearts of many parents watching tonight," the host remarked. "What message do you want Barron to take away from all this?" Melania's voice softened, her gaze tender. "I want Barron to know he is loved and supported. He will always have his family by his side, and we will protect him. I want him to understand that kindness and strength go hand in hand. No matter what others say, he should always be proud of who he is." Tears glistened in the eyes of some audience members, as the weight of her words seemed to wrap the room in a profound stillness. The atmosphere in the studio shifted, the emotional intensity palpable. Her words had created a bond between Melania and the viewers, one rooted in love, resilience, and a shared hope for a world where children are protected from harm. But then, just as the audience began to settle into this moment of unity and understanding, the host shifted his tone, leaning forward with a sudden intensity. "You've said a lot tonight, Melania, words that have given hope to many. But let me ask you, as a mother, what would you do if Barron wanted to follow in his father's footsteps? If he chose to enter the public eye, knowing the pressures and the scrutiny that come with it?" Melania's expression faltered, the calm exterior momentarily giving way to a flash of emotion. The question hung in the air, more personal than anything they had discussed up until this point. For a moment, the audience held its breath, unsure of how she would respond. She took a deep breath, her eyes reflecting a quiet resolve. "I would support him, just as I have always supported him. But I would also remind him that the world is not always kind, and that no matter what he chooses, he must remain true to himself. Barron is strong, and he has the ability to navigate whatever path he chooses. But I would protect him from the chaos of public life as much as I could." There was a pause in the room, and for the first time, the audience was unsure of what to think. Melania had just expressed a willingness to support her son's choices, no matter what they might be. But there was an underlying tension, a reality check that she, too, had learned the price of fame, the toll it can take on a person's soul. Her voice softened once more as she added, "But let's not forget the most important thing. Barron is a child, and I want him to have the freedom to experience life as a child first. The world can wait. His childhood cannot." The tension in the room began to dissipate, and the audience exhaled collectively, a sense of understanding and empathy sweeping through them. The emotional weight of the conversation had been immense, but now there was an almost palpable shift, a realization that Melania's advocacy wasn't just for Barron, but for all children who have been unfairly thrust into the public eye. The host smiled, recognizing the deeper truth she had shared. "Thank you, Melania. Your words tonight have touched us all, and I believe they'll continue to resonate for a long time to come." As the show drew to a close, Melania's message echoed across the nation, sparking a conversation that transcended the Trump family. It was a conversation about the rights of children, the responsibility of the media, and the importance of protecting what is most precious. Melania's rare public appearance would become more than just a moment of reflection. It would be a turning point in the conversation about the privacy of children in the public eye. Her words sparked a movement that not only called for stronger privacy protections, but also called for a fundamental shift in the way society views and treats the children of public figures. In that moment, it became clear to all who were listening. While the world may demand transparency from those in the spotlight, a child's innocence should always remain sacred and untouchable. As the applause grew louder and the lights began to dim, Melania gave a quiet nod to the host, her message delivered with grace, and the audience left that night with far more than just a glimpse of her life. It was a powerful reminder that sometimes the most profound moments are not those in which we speak for ourselves, but those in which we stand up for others, especially those who are most vulnerable and who cannot speak for themselves. Her words transcended the political realm, cutting through the noise of public opinion and offering a new perspective on how we should treat the families of high-profile figures. The conversation ignited a collective reflection on the broader implications of media scrutiny, especially where children are concerned. People began to see Barron not as a symbol or a figure tied to his parents, but as a young boy with dreams, hopes, and a right to privacy, just like any other child. The legacy of Melania's words would not only change Barron's life, giving him space to grow without judgment, but also inspire a broader shift for children worldwide. Her message stood as a testament to the power of one voice, one moment of courage that could alter history. Melania spoke not just for her son, but for all children unfairly thrust into the limelight. Though society's full embrace of this change would take time, her appearance planted a seed of empathy and protection for vulnerable children. As the applause echoed, it was clear this marked the beginning of a new era, one where children's innocence would no longer be sacrificed for headlines or sensationalism.